Yo, what's up guys? TFW Starving here, back with a second potential league starter for 3.26. This one received 0 changes to the patch notes, neither buffs nor nerfs, so it's still really good. I played it last league as well. The league started it in an HC SSF run. It did all 4 wood stones perfectly. It was really good, so I just thought I'd go over it real quick. It is a Caustic Arrow Toxic Rain Pathfinder, and it is using Ballista Totems on Toxic Rain for single target, Caustic Arrow, and an Arrow Nova setup for clear. This build is fairly tanky. You know, we got around 100k EHP, 24k Fizz max hit, around just under 2 mil DPS on the early game, and then we can buff that up fairly substantially. You know, you get a bit tankier, you get some more DPS, you get a bit of quality of life, yada yada. I have different loadouts for where you should be in each part of the game, so be sure to check that out. We are a Pathfinder, which means we're going to be buffing up our flasks, get some ailment immunities here, you'll be getting a little bit more flash charges there, and then finally you'll be inflicting Wither and getting increased effect of Wither there. For the early game, I'm going to highly recommend you rush this Bow Mastery. It is the easiest way to get the AoE required for the Toxic Rain sweet spot. I go over that in the notes section, so be sure to check that out as well. This build gets suppression capped, it has quality of life on flasks, it has full elemental ailment immunities. We end up with about 5 totems, I believe, in the end game for your DPS, so you can just run around the boss arena, dodge everything you want. The totems will do all the work, it's no problem. The only downside with totems I can say is that obviously they are delayed, and so if the boss is moving around, it can be a little difficult to get your DPS uptime. For some of the more like mobile bosses, you may want to take out Ballista Totem and just manually self-cast Toxic Rain. It depends on like how you feel. If you're lazy, you know, whatever, it'll get the job done. It might just take a little bit longer. For the gems, early game, you're going to be using Life Tapped and Ballista Totem for Toxic Rain. Like I mentioned, this is your single target. Caustic Arrow with an Arrow Nova setup, pretty standard. For auras, you're going to be using Determination and Grace. This build is incredibly tanky. Malevolence for damage, and you will be self-casting Despair until you can get a Despair unhit ring. I go over how to craft that in the notes. Please check the notes out, they're very detailed. Frenzy generation, then you're going to be using Enduring Cry linked to Urgent Orders early on. In the mid-game setup, you're going to want to get a Cluster Jewel that gives Enduring Composure. This lets you generate Endurance charges without having to cast it. Also frees up some gem sockets. For something like Clarity, you can link that to Arrogance. And then you have your choice of guard skill. I prefer Molten Shell. Put that in a cast with damage taken setup. And then you just be using dash to move around. You can fit in a blink arrow a bit later on, but early on we don't have enough sockets, so just stick with dash for now. When you can, you're going to want to fit in an Empower into the late game setup. This gives you an insane damage boost. Like levels is pretty much the main way to scale Toxic Rain. You can slot one into Volcaustic Arrow as well, but it's not too big of a deal early on. Definitely focus on Toxic Rain first. It is your main single target, and it is like the biggest damage boost for your build. All the gear is incredibly easy to self-craft. This build is designed for SSFHC, so everything is in the notes on how to craft and all that. It's pretty standard, you know. You get your bow, your quiver, blah, blah, blah. For your flasks, because you're already getting elemental ailment immunities, just focus on getting bleed immunity and maybe poison if you really want. And then I personally just like getting armor and evasion and then maybe like movement speed. It's all personal preference really, just whatever you want. And then in the mid game, you're going to want to self-farm a lightning coil. This is probably your best chest. It can be tough to fit in with the resist penalty early on, so like obviously you're going to want to focus on getting other gear first. This is just kind of a late game when you can. The ultra end game, you know, double corrupting this can be an insane damage boost. Please check the notes section out. It's got like crafting upgrades in order of importance, how to do them, when to do them, yada yada. It's got like some frequently asked question stuff. And then I will be league starting either this build or one of the other builds that I'm making a guide for. You can feel free to ask me any questions about this build on my Twitch or just at me in game, whatever, if I'm not live. I'll be happy to help. Have a good league start and good luck in 3.26.